Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 211-211. I am Virtue, the moderator, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review. Of course, Aaron Rift is here, Big G, fresh off of Aew Dynamite Live, Walter Cruz, and Josh Mansfield in the house. Gentlemen, what's up? Josh, what's going on there?
Not much. It's been a nice week to just relax. I was away last weekend helping on the outside team of a retreat, so was there from Thursday to Sunday. Just been trying to relax and recuperate the past few days because it is always busy. Got my predictions column written and just ready for the next week and everything.
I'm all about controversy, and I know that's not a shirt about Kyrie Irving, correct? That's something totally different.
No. Not at all.
You might have people out there thinking so. He's a basketball player, Aaron. Very controversial basketball player.
We were just talking about before you joined in.
Just want to make sure there might be some people out there that want to troll you with that. So I just want to get that out in the open right now so you can speak your mind.
Greek Catholic shirt.
Okay.
In Greek, Catholic shirt.
Although that could make some people triggered as well. But nonetheless, moving on. Walter Cruz, what's going on?
Nothing much. Always thankful to be up here. A little bit of a slow news week, but still looking forward to talk on here and see Big G's perspective of being Dynamite Live. So I'm just ready to get this going.
All right. And of course, Big G, there was a photo out there, you in the Dynamite crowd, and I'm questioning this. What I saw online, Aaron retweeted it. Were you happy to be there? Because that look, it was caught on camera. Go check it out, people. Were you? I'm asking you straight up.
I was excited to be there, but I was just caught off guard. I didn't even realize I was gonna be on TV.
Well, you always got to be prepared, man. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You didn't look too excited, but maybe you were, and that was just a bad spot.
That was I guess that was my shock face after Jeff Jarrett.
Shock or disappointment?
What the heck's going on?
Wow, look at that. We could make a whole video about that reaction right there. Look at the guy below you just to our left. Wow, Anyway, Big G, we'll come back to you here shortly as we will talk about some things that happened on Dynamite. Over to you, Aaron.
Everybody looked to be happy. People were clapping and cheering, and Big G's like, what is this, TNA all over again? We got Jeff Jarrett? What's next? We're going to have the X Division guys show up? Oh, wait, we got Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt already there. It's feeling like TNA, AEW. That felt the most like an old TNA episode of AEW to date.
Emphasis on old.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. And Aaron, you had mentioned something last week about WWE doing the same thing and just bringing people back and making it other than Bray Wyatt, which was a big deal, a big build up, and they're still slow rolling him. We're gonna talk about Emma. What's going on here? Let's just bring people back just to bring them back. We can't be in that war, are we? There's no way they're gonna keep going back and forth. Because at some point, right, your roster is going to be full.
Right. And here's the thing, too. I thought when I did the Dynamite recap, I was like, well, you know what? If Jeff Jarrett's maybe there as a one-off or maybe one match or something, fine. But he's all elite. Now, he is going to be doing stuff behind the scenes, too.
Right. Yep.
Similar to what he was doing in WWE. He's going to be helping out with live events, apparently. But yeah, another guy that they're bringing in, signing to a contract, and that's one more person that is going to be taking up TV time. But we'll be talking more about that here in just a few moments. I'm very interested to see what Big G has to say. We do have a few super chats before we get started. Caleb Jacobs said CM Punk could end up back in WWE. Well, especially after Colt Cabana showed up on Dynamite, which we'll get to more in just a moment. I feel like the odds of Punk coming back to AEW have decreased.
At the very least for CM Punk, even if he stays away from wrestling, you got to get an Ariel Helwani interview out of him, something where he can speak his mind. I would be entertained by that if that's all we get.
Yeah, he's not going back to Colt Cabana's podcast, but Whoever gets CM Punk for the post AEW interview, they're going to get a lot of traffic. That's going to be the interview of the year, whether it's Ariel Helwani. Like, who does CM Punk like at this point? Does he
Let's try us. Let's try us. You never know.
I don't think he likes me. He blocked me a long time ago.
There's
though.
that
I'm not blocked.
Bleed or whatever out there.
I'm
CM
not
Punk.
blocked. And he liked a tweet of mine before. So
CM Punk, we got a lot in common, man. We're not religious. We don't smoke. We don't drink. We don't do drugs. We both like Diet Pepsi. We don't like our diet soda being spilled. So CM Punk, you want to come on the No DQ review? Consider it an open invitation. Yep. Now, before we get started, Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. So thank you, Walter. Says, welcome No DQ Galaxy to review 211. Say yes to No DQ, hashtag stick to my shtick, and stay Ucey, everyone. And we'll be talking about that too in a little bit.
And then, like, if Punk was going to do that, this, like, his contract would have been bought out. It would have been done already. I think he's fighting that. I think he wants to be, he wants to sit there, collect his money, make Tony Khan scramble, and be able to do whatever the hell he wants when he's officially out of that contract. Even if he does nothing, he doesn't want to be pinned down and have somebody tell him not to say something. No way Punk does that because he's already got enough money. There's not that extra amount of money that would make him do an NDA. Absolutely not. Not in my opinion.
I just want Tony to have some balls and just make a storyline out of this. Bring them back and just let adults be adults and just work their issues out.
Yeah. Have
a match, let them work stiff. It'd be like, if you're going to work stiff, this is the time to do it. And then after that, no more. We can dead the issue.
And Tito saying for us to dream on. I mean, Tito, you can dream on that, you're still relevant anymore.
Oh, we're getting started already. What is it with Tito just stirring the pot? Tito is like the No DQ version of CM Punk. He's always getting people hating on him and not liking him. Josh, Jeff Meacham, and many others. Virtue's had his issues with Tito. Half of Twitter doesn't like Tito, whatever his name is. Mr.
Well,
Tweeto.
He got rid of his normal Tito account, so who
he
won
put it on
that?
private.
Well, nonetheless, Aaron, are we caught up on our super chats and we can start this show?
Yeah, let's get
it.
It
is a slow news week, so hopefully maybe the chat will be engaged, ask us some cool super chats. We'll see.
And shout out to Cleaver, Colin, Andrew, and Nick Lavin, Christopher. Ken terminates DQ. We love you, man. Keep posting in the chat room. Gomer, Kyle, and all the rest of you. I cannot name everybody. We got a good turnout tonight. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but thank you for tuning in. And Shanti, my man Shanti sent in $5, says, in a Triple H era, could you see Retribution with the original members, Raw Underground, having a better success? I think Triple H would have some common sense to not even attempt those types of angles, but that's just me.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you, Shanti. And now let's get into the first topic.
All right, first topic. And Big G, so he can't piggyback off of what other people say, we are coming to him first because he was live at AEW Dynamite last night with that stellar look on his face when Double J, Jeff Jarrett, made his AEW debut. And what else did we get also on this edition of Dynamite? We got Colt Cabana coming out to face Chris Jericho. Oh, let's make a slap in the face of CM Punk. Okay, whatever. Is Colt Cabana going to come back and get pushed to the title? Is he going to be on there every week? Probably not. He's going to be delegated over to the Ring of Honor roster that I don't think many people care about and or even acknowledge. But what's interesting here is the fact that we're getting these cryptics and the Elite's coming back at some point. And as much as I kind of hate those guys, I do want to see that because I want to see if they're going to be clever and get some heat out of this and be some good heels. So Big G, what is your take on Dynamite, the debuts, and maybe the Elite when they do finally show back up? I mean, can they get some good heat out of this whole drama that has existed with CM Punk?
Yeah. Well, overall, I mean, the crowd
without CM Punk there. That's the key.
I mean, Dynamite was pretty good last night. Being in person is always better than watching it on TV because you can actually hear the crowd reaction and like how loud the pops are and if they don't get a pop. And I feel bad for the women's division. Like Marina Shafir got no pop whatsoever, not even like heel heat. Jade Cargill came out of the heel tunnel, but she got cheered for a little bit. And then you had Nyla Rose out there and all that. That's just Tony needs to fix the women's division sooner than later, because right now it's sinking. But the best segment, I think that got the best reaction, was of course Daddy Ass's birthday bash. That was, I think people were cheering throughout that whole segment. The Jericho match and Colt Cabana match was all right. You had Colt Cabana come out. He got a 5 to 10 second crowd reaction. It was a fun show. Being there, like I said, being there live is always fun. So.
Well, you're exhausted, I see.
Yeah, it is a long day.
Let me ask you this: how many empty seats were there that we couldn't see?
So on the
just
non-cam,
we got these reports.
So
honestly,
the UMBC arena isn't that very big. So like the one side that's not the camera side, there was a whole bunch of empty seats.
In a not so very big arena. Ouch.
Yeah. So there.
I want it filled up. Nitro was filled up back in the day. Raw was filled up back in the day when they were really going against each other. Remember
and then
those
of course, after Dynamite ended, they were doing the dark matches, and a lot of people ended up leaving, just like me. So obviously before the show, they do dark matches too for AEW Dark, and then Dynamite, and then they'll do another couple matches for Dark if they're not doing Rampage. But Rampage is live this Friday, so other than that, like I said, it was fun. It's always going to a live wrestling show. So.
Did you see the Elite teaser things or whatever they're doing with all that in the arena?
Yeah, the Elite thing, they had them showing them winning the trios titles, and then like they showed the computer screen, and they put in where Death Triangle won it, and like they erased the Elite again. So, and I did like.
How was the reaction in the arena for that? Those are the most.
They got a pop.
AEW fans.
It was a pop. There was a pop for that.
Okay.
Everybody popped for the House of Black segment. That was awesome. Seeing Julia Hart and then hearing Malachi's voice in the background, knowing that he's going to be coming back hopefully soon. They need to.
Oh darn! He's not Uncle Howdy. Darn! All you people, you're conspiracy people
trying to bring him back, so that's good. But like I said before, I'll say it again. It was a fun show. Being there live with my friends and everybody else in the crowd. So if you get the chance to go to a Dynamite show, do it.
All right. You heard it from Big G right there. Put that image back up real quick, Aaron.
And I was pissed.
Just want to see that one more time after Big G just said, make sure you go see Dynamite. Look, you can have that great of a time right there, our own Big G from NoDQ. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. That's the reactions they look for.
Yeah.
Yep. And
that's a CM Punk not there anymore reaction is what that is.
Yep. And
you good?
And I was also in the Moxley entrance too, briefly.
All right. I saw one you circled, and you just saw your little head.
Yeah, that was during Moxley's entrance. Yeah.
There you go. All right, Walter Cruz, over to you with these debuts on Dynamite. If you want to comment on the Elite cryptic videos for hyping their return and whatnot.
Well, I'm glad they're hyping the return, but like I said earlier, I want Tony Khan to show some guts, some balls, and make this a story. Book it, show the bravery, and let adults be adults. And like I said, if they're going to work stiff for that first match that they all work together, let them do that and get it over with, and then say that now let's be adults and move on. And that's it. But in terms of that Jeff Jarrett, I think that's the most random thing ever. I don't remember reading anything about him possibly being elite. You usually see rumors or anything. I didn't hear that. To me, this is just random. And now, I don't know, AEW is starting to become like the AARP of wrestling. You got Jericho over 50 there. You had Jake the Snake for a while over there. You got Jeff Jarrett now.
What a comment that is. Wow.
Sting.
Oh
you got
goodness.
Sting. You got, it's almost like the old Yellow where they're going to AEW to get that last shot and be taken out of their misery. I don't know what's going on with AEW. Well, they're sure messing up their homegrown talent by doing all this, and it's going to get to the point where they sign too many, and we might have those doomsday from AEW like we had from WWE, and you see a bunch of releases come out of nowhere. It's gonna come.
Hey, I mean, how about that whole Colt Cabana Chris Jericho thing and match?
That was just a troll to CM Punk. I think it really was a middle finger to CM Punk.
Fake tears,
fast.
fake, definitely fake. Colt Cabana is good at what he does, and he put his head in a bag of onions before he went out there. Well done. Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough. Anything else, or I'm going to move it over to Josh?
You can move it on. Yeah.
Josh, you are on the floor. Go.
Okay, so Colt Cabana, yeah, that's a big FU to Punk. WrestleVotes on Twitter, they said that Colt Cabana coming out on AEW. This is the first time he's been seen on AEW television in a long time, I think in over a year. WrestleVotes said that was noticed by Stanford, that WWE did take note of that. So it is what it is. Jeff Jarrett coming in, I'm not surprised. He's sticking to the shtick of get fired by WWE, bitter, go to AEW. It's not surprised. He was hired under Vince. Triple H got rid of him, so I'm not surprised to see him in AEW. Really, I'm not, because it's clear that he was a Vince hire, but not a Triple H guy. So, and that's why he's no longer there, and where he is now. I don't think the Flair match was anything to do with Jarrett getting fired, but now he's in AEW, so we'll see if he says anything. We'll see if he goes on an Ariel Helwani podcast to say anything.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it. Bring him on.
Hey, Aaron, has his role been made clear? Like, is he?
He's gonna be doing like backstage stuff for like live events or something like that.
Yeah, somebody
but
mentioned
that's it. No matches
title.
or nothing, right?
Well, he probably will have a match at some point.
So I was listening. Let me just interrupt real quick. I was listening to Busted Open this morning, and Tommy Dreamer pointed out that there's two matches that they could do that they could get out of this Jeff Jarrett thing. One, they could do a singles match between Jarrett and Darby, and get Darby over Jarrett, and give him a receipt for that guitar shot. And then you could have a tag match between Jarrett and Jay Lethal, since they got the history there, versus Sting and Darby Allin, and there's your two matches.
Well,
they talked about other matches too, but those are like the main two matches that
you got to do the tag match. They're too old.
There's three matches they could do. The third one is the rematch of Ric Flair's last match ever. You have three of the four guys now all elite: Jeff Jarrett, Andrade, and Jay Lethal.
I didn't even think of that.
Flair, you do a rematch. The rematch the entire world has been waiting for.
You bring Ric Flair. You really are.
Put those three guys in a triple threat match and have a Ric Flair on a pole or a forklift match.
No, at that point, you have an Old Yeller match, and whoever loses is getting taken out to the back.
Wow! We're gonna see. We will see Jarrett versus Sting. That's where they're gonna go.
So, like, Jeff Jarrett was trying to start Global Force Wrestling.
I was just gonna say,
and of course, the whole gold thing. That I don't know what happened with that, and then but then it failed. It didn't go anywhere, and he got TNA to like use it for a little bit. Then he still got a job back with WWE, and now he's working for Tony Khan. So, can we just give Jeff Jarrett a round of applause for getting paychecks in the wrestling business at this stage of the game?
WWE,
kudos to Jeff Jarrett for that. And
he's just him, and
that's fine with me. Like, if he can also go to Tony Khan and get a fat paycheck, kudos to Jeff Jarrett for that.
Oh yeah,
Jeff Jarrett is right. Jeff Jarrett is right up there with Luke Gallows. They just find a way to keep getting jobs back.
Yeah, props, man.
Know how to play the game.
Josh, anything else you want to add? I'll throw it over to Aaron if not.
That's all I got for this. I'm just ready for that super chat.
Okay, Aaron, over to you.
Bring him on.
I mean, I really have nothing else to add to it yet. Johnny Boy said that please no Ric Flair versus Jeff Jarrett. There will literally be body bags after that match. Well, exactly. Jeff did say that there were going to be body bags when it was all said and done. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm intrigued, but I do not understand how Jeff Jarrett is going to be beneficial to AEW. And they're already struggling as it is with live events, like their attendance is down. And I know Big G commented on it a little bit, but they had under 3,000 people for this show. Now they're burning out the Northeast for sure. It's going to be a good thing when they start running more shows on the West Coast, but still the attendance is dropping. And even LA, it's above what most Dynamites are already, but it was not an instant sellout like it was for the first show. They instantly sold out the Forum, and I think they sold like roughly 5,000 to 6,000 tickets so far. So they may end up with like 8,000 people in the building. Big G?
So I just looked at the arena. So it is approximately 5,000 seats and then 1,000 seats on the floor. So it can hold up to 6,000 people.
Yeah. I mean, that place wasn't even half full. Like you could see on TV, the upper deck was completely empty pretty much. And even the lower deck had empty sections.
I mean, I did enjoy that All Atlantic Championship match between the three of them. That was pretty good. It was fun. Entertaining.
The only thing I wanted to say about the show and Jeff Jarrett is that they're trying to expand live events when they're struggling to sell tickets to the events they already have. But we'll see what they do.
That was TNA always had trouble selling live events outside of Orlando.
Can you throw up Collins?
When you go on when you go on Ticketmaster and it shows you like when you choose your tickets, it shows you like which ones are still available in colors. I'm on the Mohegan Sun website from when they come in near me in a couple of weeks. The entire bottom row is still available.
Wow. So I called in to Bust It Open this morning, right? And I talked about the Jericho match. And I told him I said, the one thing about that match that I really didn't like was that miscue over the top rope, and Bully called me out. He called me out. He said, how do you know that was a
miscue?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I need to hear audio of this.
Huh?
I need to hear audio of this.
We do too. We want to put this all over the internet.
I'll see if I can
find it. That's the thing. That's the thing. Bully's old school is protecting the business. Even though we know what's going on, he doesn't want fans to say that. So you got to respect him for trying to protect it in a non-kayfabe world. But
I know with the Jeff Jarrett, if you want a face full of, an arena full of Big G's face, you put a Jeff Jarrett match on in AEW. The whole arena would look like Big G did, didn't it?
And I did see that botch with Cabana and Jericho, and it was one of those. Like I that wouldn't have made me like angry if that happened, whether I knew it was legit or not. It just they fell off. You could have said it was a counter by Jericho or whatever, so sometimes we do look at that too much because of the internet, Big G.
Yeah.
I do want to hear that though.
All right. We do have the super chat from Mr. Tito, which I would like to bring up right now. Oh, here we go. All right. So Mr. Tito says, Josh thinks that he could be negative all week and then have it forgiven on Sunday. It doesn't work that way, bro. Keep talking your smack, Thumper.
Ouch.
This is like Jake the Snake and Stone Cold Steve Austin right here, man.
See, here's the thing. We were talking earlier about, how AEW is becoming, the TNA, the AARP. I'm really surprised Tito ain't over there cheering on AEW at that point. See, here's the thing, Tito. I am the captain of Virtue's army. You think I haven't learned from Virtue? Really? You think I haven't learned from Virtue how to do this? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, old man Tito. You are overrated and overhyped, and you will never know if what I am saying right now is a work or a shoot. Think about that in your retirement home.
Bam.
Well, there you go. He answered his critic. Aaron, what else? We caught up. You caught up on this topic because we got couple left.
Follow that, Aaron.
I mean, I would invite Tito to join us on the NoDQ review tonight, but he said he's never appearing on video again.
Yeah, we need a highlight video from all the ones that he did appear on, though.
Even with the mask?
They were all with the mask, yeah.
Yeah,
he was on a couple videos, and then that episode 200, we could even throw in some of the technology issues he had there as part of the highlight video. It'd be great. I think Aaron should put that together. Are we ready to move on here?
Yes.
All right.
All right. Filler
Let's move
topic.
on. Like Virtue moved on from COVID in 2020.
Apparently, Jeff Jarrett isn't ready to move on.
So Emma returns to WWE, and here's the deal. I know when she was there before, she went from popping bubbles, but then she went back to NXT, and that whole with the sunglasses, that whole thing. She had some solid matches versus Asuka. I was buying into Emma as being like a legit threat to anybody, even if she was always like that heel that would never really go over that much, like The Miz. And then we all know the whole Evolution stuff happened. They got rid of her, but she's back in the Triple H era. But all they do with her is just randomly have her come out and challenge Rousey and lose. I mean, is that where we're at with Emma? Like, I think that they should be building more competitors for their women's division, and I feel like that's a drop ball. Josh Mansfield, I'm coming to you first under the Triple H regime. Now, there's still time, right? This could be fixed, but, like, come on. I mean, it's not because I just like Emma's accent. I think she's good looking, but Josh Mansfield, come on. What's going on? People are typing. Like, they can't get their
I was about to say, who's beating the keyboard?
No. So Josh Mansfield, I think this is a flub on Triple H's part. I mean, you could say blame he was sick with COVID. No, he's back now. You know that. And I'm sure he was working from home on his phone.
See, the thing is, Emma, I'm more surprised that he brought her back as Emma and not as Tennille Dashwood, her name, as she was, being known elsewhere. I'm really surprised that this is how he decided to do it.
Listen,
I would have thought he would have brought her
quick.
back as she's more known on the indies now.
No, but people know her more as Emma in the WWE world than Tennille Dashwood. That's why they do that.
Which is a fair point.
Have they brought anybody back as a real name? Like, they might have, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I mean, I know Triple H is fixing Dijak's name in NXT from what it was all before.
But he was Dijak under Triple H before he was T-Bar or whatever. So
right, that's my point. He's switching it back.
But that's not. But that's still a WWE.
That's not his real name. Is what Virtue's trying to say.
I got you. I'm not sure. I'm willing to let it play out. Yeah, what Nick said. She did really well in TNA, which is probably why Triple H brought her back. She is a name that does have that, was on the indies, is back, and is now an indie name as well. I think that's the appeal that Triple H is trying to do by bringing in not all the big indie stars, but bringing some of the other lower indie stars to get that in too. So it just remains to be seen. Losing off the bat to Ronda Rousey, I don't know how I feel about that.
Like, I would have been okay with it if she freaking snapped afterwards and, like, just went nuts and, like, attacked Rousey, hit her with a chair, did something. But nope.
I will say, you guys know I was away. I was at the retreat. I didn't have a chance to watch this match yet. But at least from what I've seen, I've heard she at least impressed. At least from what I've read on the Twitter, that she impressed in the match. So I think it remains to be seen how she does, and we'll go from there.
Triple H apologist. You will not criticize him yet. I get it. But, all right, Walter Cruz, I think it was a big drop ball. Emma could have been a top heel, and she never even had to win the title. What happened to the top heels, like the ones that used to throw at Hogan all the time back in the day, that could be a threat to the title, where maybe you think they could win it, but they never did? Emma could have been a perfect one for the women's division there. I don't know. What do you think, Walt?
I think it's hard for those heels to kind of exist nowadays because of this social media era, and they're themselves on Twitter and they're themselves on Facebook or whatever. So it's like hard to, because there was no social media back in the day, kayfabe was all intact and everything. People were a-holes and you could be a heel in and out of the ring. I mean, look at the heat people drew in Puerto Rico and everything. People got stabbed. People got, like, just because they kept heat. But with this whole social media era, it's hard to get that pure heat and pure heel nowadays. But I'm indifferent with Emma. Like when she came out, I hope that, I was kind of hoping that Emelina or that other gimmick she tried would have got over, but it failed, and it seemed like they hit the restart button, and they don't know what to do with her. To me, this was a random comeback. I don't know if she's full time or this is a gift for Madcap Moss because they're dating or whoever she's dating. So like we know they like to keep couples together on the same brand. So I don't know what they're doing with her, but I'm just hoping that they don't keep continuing with these random comebacks that people don't care, because that's when they tie up the bottom line, and then you get these mega releases that we keep seeing. And they're already releasing. I don't know if they're releasing these NXT people to make room to give these other people contracts. I don't know what they're doing, but then that's going to end up happening again on the main roster. So, like, you got to be careful with who you sign. Sign people that are really make people pop. Like, I feel like she got like no reaction when she came back. People were like, "Who the hell is that?" And it's been
like,
what, 5 years?
Yeah, they didn't hype anything up. Like they could have sent her to NXT. Like, you know what I mean? And like Bray got the treatment, but that's good because it's Bray Wyatt. You got to give people a reason to be excited. I pretty much, when they knew she was coming out against Ronda, they're probably confused. Like, oh, she's gonna chop.
And we already knew the result. We knew the result before it ended. So maybe if they made it a little more competitive. But I mean, who would have thought she would have beat Ronda? Or maybe they could have threw the match out and Shayna could have interfered, and they could have formed that Shayna and which they kind of did backstage last week. But they could have formed the Shayna and the Rousey and made that official, and then at least this would have resulted in something. You sacrifice Emma to do something else. You know what I mean? But this was just random.
Where are the Iconics now in TNA?
No, they're not even wrestling anymore.
No,
Cassie's pregnant.
You can have your Australian female group and have do the New Day tag team rules for the women's tag team championship. There's always something to do, and Josh Mansfield thinks that Triple H still has time. All right, Big G, over to you.
Yeah, Emma coming back. I was like, okay, cool. You gave up on when Shayna got like D-push. You gave up on WWE Women's Division a long time ago.
I don't hear you much talk about Britt Baker.
They have nobody on SmackDown women-wise that Ronda hasn't beaten already. So I'm sure they're like, oh, we re-signed Emma. Let's have her as the open challenge and see how she does. I think this was a test for Emma to see how she did in front of a crowd, and to see where they're going to go with her down the line. If they're going to, put her in a tag team or do something with her. If I was WWE, I would have had her go back down to NXT for a little bit. And then
with Mandy Rose or something. There you go.
Do something to get some kind of crowd reaction, because like everybody said, even when I was watching, she got no crowd reaction.
Yeah, so, and that NXT, smaller amount of people, few hundred or whatever fit in that.
And like I said,
they would have popped for it. You know how they are down there.
Yeah, and like I just said, I think this was a test for Emma to see how well she would do in front of a WWE crowd, because it's been 5 years, and with WWE fans, they forget people after so long. So
yeah, well, good to see. I hope she's back more often, and at the very least, tag her up with somebody and make them a threat for the tag team.
I think she's. Well, there's rumors going around that Chelsea Green might be coming back too, so they can team her up with Emma.
At least they took a chance on a random surprise with no hype. At least they did it. At least they took a chance. I'll say that.
I mean, there was like some tweets on Twitter saying, former superstar is coming back.
Tweets on Twitter. No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, Aaron, over to you. You've already covered this, I know. So go ahead, talk about this, change the topic, whatever.
Well, I do like your idea of having Emma in a tag team. I think that WWE needs to boost the women's tag division. I just feel like they tend to throw teams together too often. I would like to see some teams that are organically put together, and maybe even introduce people to Raw or SmackDown, or bring them back as a tag team. I think maybe Emma would have been better off coming back with somebody that she has natural chemistry with and having them form a tag team and start winning matches. Bringing her back to lose to Ronda Rousey. I mean, Ronda Rousey is the women's champion, so you're losing to the best, but at the same time, not exactly an ideal way for her to come back just to lose. Ronda did cheat a little bit, so there's that. So we'll see what they do with her, but I think she might be best off in a tag team, and I worry that WWE is going to bring back too many people. There's talk about Tegan Knox coming back, possibly Chelsea Green. They have to focus on the people they already have. They're doing the same thing that AEW was doing, where they're focusing on trying to get that surprise pop from the fans and get people talking on the internet and on Twitter, but they need to focus on the people they have and build those people up. And I definitely think that both companies now are bringing in too many people. Both rosters are bloated. Actually, well, Raw and SmackDown, both of their rosters plus AEW's roster, just a lot of people, and there's only so many hours in the day and only so much time that people can get invested in watching wrestling. And there's only so many characters you can get invested in. When there's like 70 characters, like you can't be into all of them. And if there was like maybe half that amount, it would be more focused and there would be more attention to the characters that are there. The problem with AEW and WWE is that you have lots of guys that are not on TV every week and out of sight, out of mind. You lose that momentum when you're not on TV. The television time, it's prime real estate. I'm not sure who said that, but somebody brought up how the wrestling TV time is prime real estate. Big G, how's everything going there in the house? We had a little cameo appearance.
Yeah, my nieces are here. We're babysitting them right now. So
yeah, she made a little cameo. You're babysitting her while doing the NoDQ.
Yeah, well, my wife's watching right now.
What kind of witchcraft is going there? Your cat's turning humans.
At least WWE has more shows that they can showcase some people. The AEW's got like 2 shows, like so they can't afford to get too bloated too quickly. Like exactly. At least WWE has more shows.
Well, with AEW, if you notice, like one week they'll have people on, and the next week they'll have people on that weren't on the week before, and they'll like go back and forth with it.
Right. Josh Jones brought up Emma and Dana Brooke. There's an idea. Dana Brooke's not doing anything right now, but what they should have done was just bring back Emma with Dana Brooke, bring them in, drop the 24/7 title. They come in, they start winning some squash matches, maybe have them against 2 local talents and start building them up to be challengers for the tag titles. Walter?
Why not wait and have Emma be a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble? Isn't that what the Royal Rumble's all about? Like, why just...
Yeah, well, maybe they'll bring back Tegan Knox for that one, or they'll rely on the usual suspects, Victoria and Molly Holly, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So we're caught up.
Caught up? Okay, main event time. I'm going to say the name so the YouTube algorithm can pick it up. Roman Reigns. You know, I used to write a column all the time about the state of the Roman Empire when, you know, people hated John Cena 2.0, hated Roman Reigns, couldn't cut a promo, suffer and succotash, forced by Vince McMahon. And then what happened? The whole heel turn, the Bloodline gimmick. We are now going to do state of the Bloodline. And look, hell is about to freeze over, people. Because I don't do this often. I don't come on here and admit when I said a take that I kind of changed my mind on it, that what ended up happening afterwards changed my mind, and listening to other people's opinions changed my mind. But you remember a couple of months ago when I said they need to kick Sami Zayn out of the Bloodline ASAP because they're Samoans, it's blood, it doesn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. And here we are after I saw what happened last Friday on SmackDown with the I don't give a damn what the tribal chief said, and the Roman Reigns, perfect facial expression, panning from the camera. Like this storyline, I know the end game is going to be Sami probably getting kicked out, doing something wrong for the Bloodline, all the family coming together. But this is entertaining, and it's the best storyline in wrestling today, which isn't saying much. But I want to go around the horn here, and I'm going to start with you, Walter. Are you feeling Ucey about what's currently going on with the Bloodline? I just basically said my take from a couple months ago. I'm taking that back, and I want to see this play out longer with Sami Zayn being the honorary Uce. And hey, if Jay keeps acting up, he could become an Uce.
Yeah, this is, like you said, this is the best thing going in all of wrestling, AEW, anything. To get something so small over, like the word Ucey. Sammy's great. Like it almost makes me, now I said almost, don't jump all over me, makes me want him to break the streak almost. But we know that ain't happening. But for him to just get everything he's getting over, I mean, there's rumors, there's backstage talk that they were supposed to already end this, but it's getting such great crowd reactions that they're just letting it fly. And like, I swear Sami Zayn is in the back going, watch me make them break. like he's got a bet going on with somebody because it almost seems like he's deliberately making all of them laugh. You can see Roman covered his face. You can see Jay in the background covered his face.
And you know what that
Jimmy
reminds me
covered
of,
his
Walter? Like I
what?
want to be pissed that
Yeah,
they're kind of like taking the seriousness of the bloodline, but
yeah,
all the cool factions in history, DX, NWO, there was stuff like that. A Buff
Yeah.
Bagwell in the group or whatever DX did, they would break each other,
Yeah.
but then they would still be serious when
Mhm.
they needed to be serious. So
So-
that's kind of why I think I've grown to end up liking it.
Yeah, I don't think nothing matches it. And what's funny is that Bray Wyatt just came back, so you would think that's like the hierarchy and that's up there, but it's still this bloodline thing going on. It's just awesome, and I would hold it off till WrestleMania. Like I want to see how far it goes until when everybody loses their title. Maybe that's when we can get serious, and then that's when he gets kicked out. Once those titles are gone, and it's not about them running everything, then maybe we can see, and then they can get back to being serious. Or we can all get our wish of Naomi coming and being the bloodline, even though Aaron gave up on that a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. But I really, this is the most intriguing thing going, and it's like you don't want it to end. Usually things wear out over time, and you're like, oh my God, just end this already. But I don't think it's going to be like that a lot.
Well, and it creates doubt, like, hey, could this be coming to an end? Is turmoil bubbling up within the bloodline? And then, like, that one Crown Jewel or whatever, that last Saudi Arabia show, isn't that where Solo Sikoa debuted? Was that, or no, it was over
That
in
was,
Clash
yeah.
at the castle. And then something like that happens. So they're at least setting up those kind of things.
Yeah, or what if this leads to another Jay ass? Remember he became main event Jay and Roman had to go through him? What if they need to do one more match with Jay just for him to put him back in place? That would be an awesome storyline. Like, nobody's thinking of that. What if he's like, me and you got to go, and I'll even put my titles on the line to give you a title shot, and because it's easily gonna say who's gonna turn down a title shot, and then Jay's got to get his ass whooped again to put him back in line. Like something, it can lead to so many different directions.
Yep. Now, well said. Big G, I'm going to come over to you. I mean, we're all on agreement here, right, that Roman Reigns is not losing his titles anytime soon. So, like, we know the whole Logan Paul. I think all they want for Logan Paul is for him to go and have a good match like he did his last match. So, you know he's not going to win. They want a couple close calls, but, like, Roman is taking these titles as far as they're going to let him take them. What's your whole take here on the Ucey-ness going on for the
Bloodline? As soon as I started cracking up. Everybody broke character that night, and like Walter said, you know, I think there's like a bet backstage, like they're ribbing each other and saying, let's see who can we like make laugh first or whatever.
Now, Big G, the breaking character thing, this is where we know what's happening, right? And he's probably trying to get them to laugh. But like we've seen Goodfellas, right? The whole scene with Rabbit or the bartender younger guy where he was messing with, you know, and the Joe Pesci character was shooting his gun at him and they were cracking up and laugh. That stuff happens in mafia and mobs. They have a good time. They laugh at it, and then they're serious when they need to be. So
and then Roman,
it's okay that it's happening.
Yeah. And then Roman on Raw, after he knocked The Miz down, he was being serious again. Like he's not going to be humble anymore. You know, he's going to be more serious going on. But I'm loving the Ucey thing, the Sami Zayn with the bloodline. I think Walter mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again. You know, I think they were supposed to do something with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but with how Sami Zayn is getting a reaction every single week, they're like, screw it. We're going to put this Kevin Owens thing on pause for now and see how long this thing will ride out.
It's really taking his life of its own.
Can we see a Sami Zayn mania, you know, at WrestleMania 39? You know, something organic. Because, I mean, I think somebody in the comments said this should end at Montreal in the Elimination Chamber. What if, you know, Sammy's in the Elimination Chamber and this fantasy booking here, say he wins the Elimination Chamber in Montreal and faces Roman at WrestleMania if The Rock doesn't show up. But that's just...
Daniel Bryan forced WWE hand and they had the main event. Or maybe the crowd can react so bad they got to force Sammy into this. You never know.
I mean, he's getting a babyface reaction every week he comes out there. I mean, the man became. I mean, if he becomes like an actual Uce, I think the crowd will go nuts for that.
He's a meme right now. You see all these memes about Ucey juice and all. Like this thing has created a monster. I tell you that much.
It's Yes-O-Mania and it's Yes Movement all over again.
And then when they're ready, they do have the Bloodline all really end up beating him up and kicking him out. And then Sammy's super baby face if it all goes well.
And that's when
That's
KO
got to be
comes
the
out
plan.
too.
All right, Josh, before I come over to you, I'm going to go over to Aaron now. He's sitting there quietly, according to Tito. We got to get Aaron in the action before being the last on every topic. So go ahead.
You're throwing a little swerve at us here, Virtue, for once.
A little bit.
Well, I do want to bring up Sean Garner's super chat here, so good timing. Sean sent in $5. He says, who else besides Cody Rhodes should beat Roman Reigns for the titles? Who do you think y'all think it should be? So I'll go first here, and I'll just say this. Dr. Dakota Scorpio made a great point. Before this Sami Zayn honorary Uce storyline really kicked into high gear, I felt like the Bloodline was starting to get a little stale. Sami Zayn has brought new life to this Bloodline storyline. He's been very entertaining, and now people are even saying, should he be the guy to beat Roman Reigns, which 6 months ago I would have said no chance. And even now, I think it's unlikely. I still think the direction is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos at WrestleMania. But what if? You never know. And sometimes when something happens organically, you have to go with it. Now, of course, The Rock coming in, that's the biggest marquee match WWE can possibly do. Roman Reigns versus The Rock. But let's say Rock's unavailable. What about Cody Rhodes? Yeah, you could do that, but if the momentum and the momentum and the heat and everything is with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, maybe you have to go with that. It's a tough call. Bray Wyatt, he's hot. Is he a possibility?
Isn't it good to have possibilities, though, Aaron? Like, that's been lacking for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would not rule anything out. I would not rule anything out at this point. So what do you guys think? If you had to make a pick right now, who's going to beat Roman Reigns? Like, I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe Cody Rhodes, maybe Bray Wyatt, maybe Sami Zayn.
Maybe someone returning that we don't even know.
Ron Breakker, maybe? You never know. And how long is Roman Reigns going to be champion? I mean, a lot of things can happen between now and WrestleMania. Yeah. Anything's possible. Do you guys have any other people you're thinking of?
Pretty good choices.
All right, let's go over to Josh now and get his thoughts on all this.
Quick on this question: if he's called up before Mania next year, Braun Breaker. If Breaker is not called up, Sheamus or Gunther.
Sheamus is hot too.
You think Braun Breaker is ready for that though right now?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a out of the fire and into the frying pan. I mean, out of the frying pan and into the fire thing.
Flat out, yeah. Braun Breaker.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Goldberg. They took Bill Goldberg in WCW and threw him out there, and within like 9 months since debuting in WCW, he beat Hulk Hogan in the Georgia Dome. Yeah. And people said, yeah, he's green. It was too soon, but he made them a ton of money.
Exactly. And let's be honest, the match at WrestleMania in LA, it is Reigns versus Rock. Let's just call it now. It's solidified in. There's nothing changing that. But the fact remains, for the first time in over a year, we are actually having multiple names of people who we are saying these people could beat Roman Reigns for the title. A year ago, we did not have any names that were viable opponents that we could legitimately see dethroning Roman Reigns. Flat out.
Yeah. And by the way, real quick, just this comment in the chat room about maybe Roman Reigns just relinquishes the title. I'm not a fan of that. Somebody can be made by beating Roman Reigns. Whoever beats him for that title is going to be a made man. That will be one of the biggest changes of all time.
As much as I want to say, hey, let Rock beat him, be the head of the table, Mr. Hollywood, and then Rock retires so those two titles can finally be broken up in tournaments. that doesn't make anybody. Aaron, beating Roman makes somebody.
Well, I'm the opposite. I want The Rock to lose and actually acknowledge Roman and make him even bigger. Like literally on the mic after he loses, acknowledge him and say, you know what, you are the head of the table. And my time's over or something, and then maybe retire after that. Like boom.
Absolutely.
And then Roman gets to say, I retired Rock.
Yeah, exactly. Now, in terms of back to going, are we Ucey? Oh my goodness, Sami Zayn is a national treasure. He is the new R-Truth of being the national treasure of WWE. I think you guys remember a few years ago, right before the pandemic, where they had that promo on Raw with Paul Heyman in the back before making a bet saying, hey, there's a bet going around that you can't break Brock Lesnar live on camera. Then they went out and Truth did it. We're getting that weekly now with Sami Zayn breaking Roman Reigns, and I am here for it. Now, yes, the eventual plan is for Sami to get kicked out, and then we get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos winning the tag titles. If they are going to continue this with Sami for this long, what they could do is have Sami act as, or have Jay, being how much he's being distracted because of Sami, be the one to cost the Usos the tag titles to another team early. That gets Jay demoted even more. Then eventually, once they kick out Sami, Usos win the titles back, then drop them to Sami and Kevin.
Let me ask you guys this, because everybody's talking about the quit. What if Sami quits instead of gets kicked out of the Bloodline, and you make him look even stronger? What if he's like, I'm tired of being the pushover, and then they make him a main event person?
See, I'm all for my indie darlings, who are the small guy indie darlings. Those are my guys. I don't see Sami Zayn.
I think you got to kick him out to get the max babyface heat for him. Yeah. And Roman's got to Roman's kind of accepting him right now at the expense of Jay. But then Roman just says, "No, Sami, you are the problem." People are going to react to that more than anything. Yeah.
Do I think Sami will be a viable contender and opponent that is believable to beat Roman? I don't know. He will have the same underdog mentality and status as, say, Rey Mysterio. If we're being honest here when it comes to a potential Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. Do I think Sami would beat Roman for the title? No. Do I think if the fans were given a choice between Rock or Sami Zayn for Reigns' opponent at WrestleMania, they would pick Sami Zayn? No. Let's be real here. It's The Rock. They've been building this for years. Rock himself has been teasing it for months. That's the plan. Period.
Telling you, it all goes back to that Royal Rumble win in Philly. Rock was pissed that Roman was getting booed because he was there thinking, dude, I'm The Rock. Cheer him because of me.
Yeah.
The Rock was getting booed by the fans.
Yeah.
He was not prepared for that.
And dude, I'm telling you this, people criticize Roman's matches and stuff, and they've been a lot better since he's been a heel because he's expanded beyond his, he still does his few moves there, but I'm telling you that it's not going to be Hogan Rock, but it still could have vibes of that. And that's a big deal nowadays.
And you guys are right about the sympathy with Sami, because look at the reaction they got when they told him to take his shirt off, and we didn't know where that was going. People already started being like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" And people reacted, and then it was like, "I got you another shirt," and that pop was crazy.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Aaron, anything? So Josh, well said. Aaron, anything else you want to add?
I just think WrestleMania, it's The Rock versus Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but anything's possible. We might see something totally different. Who knows?
What did the honorary virtue say? What if he quits the Bloodline before he can get his ass kicked? Why is that in the private chat?
So I didn't forget. I wrote that so I don't forget to say it.
Look at that. I'm giving away secrets. Well, guys, we did it. I mean, we are under an hour. Granted, we got a football game going on. I don't know. There must be a lot of Eagles fans out there because I think the Eagles play tonight.
Yeah.
And there's probably some other crappy wrestling podcasts that some Mark trolls want to go watch. But nonetheless, we always appreciate the core NoDQ Galaxy audience that watches us every week. And we might be under an hour. So we're going to go around the horn, do our plugs. And if we don't get an after dark, we'll all be out here before 9 p.m. Eastern. So I appreciate that once in a while. Josh, welcome back. It's your turn to do your plugs.
Thank you, Virtue. Always a pleasure to be on. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me, the Cleveland combatant of NoDQ, on Twitter at CatholicJosh122, Instagram, Malamangram. I finally got myself a graphic, which is awesome. You can also find my columns over at NoDQ.com. My Mansfield's Matchups monthly predictions column for the monthly PLE, this month being Crown Jewel and, as Noah likes to call it, Country Redacted, is now live on NoDQ, so be sure to go and check that out.
All right, good to have you here. Walter Cruz, you're right. You just got to claim that spot to be on the review each week. Yeah. Oh, it's those weeks that like 6 or 7 people want to be on is when I got to start making cuts and pushing people back to the next week. So go ahead, do your plug.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm always glad, like Big G says, I'm glad to be here. But it's amazing. You got 2 videos under an hour in 1 week out of me. I think I might play the Powerball this Saturday. I think my chances just blew up. But for me, in terms of plugs for Instagram, you can catch me on Cowfire Farms there. You can see the spelling there on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter at Walter Alex Cruz, and that's it for me.
All right, and Big G, I know you're waiting to get out of here and go watch your movie. There he is. Right, this show, if anything, was worth it this week just to showcase that picture. And I do want that audio clip of Bully Ray telling you that needs to get out there. Okay, Big G.
Yeah, so you can follow me at nodq.com/bigbiology. That's how you get to my Twitter page. And you can see that lovely picture there on Twitter. And you can follow me on TikTok if you have it at bigbiology1988. And that is it for me.
Man, look at Jeff Jarrett in that picture. He's looking good for his age, but that picture there, he looked like the guy from Poltergeist 2 with the hat on. But anyway, good to have you on, Big G. And, of course, over to Aaron. It looks like we got one possible after dark. But, Aaron?
Yes, the This Guy Experience sent in $2, says, why do you assume Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will get together versus the Usos? Because that's what makes sense. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have that friendship, and the babyface turn for Sami Zayn is something that I think people have been waiting for. Having Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunite as baby faces, going after the Usos. The Usos don't have any real competition right now. They've blown through pretty much every babyface tag team in WWE. They're perfect opponents, in my opinion, for WrestleMania. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunited, and that will be possibly a match of the year contender. Like, that will be a phenomenal match. And with the storyline they've been doing, that's going to have some tremendous heat too.
And it's not a coincidence that Elimination Chamber's in Canada and this story is going right now.
Right. Now, Sean Garner brought up an interesting idea or question. He sent in $5. He says, who does the Royal Rumble winner face if The Rock faces Roman Reigns? Josh?
Why are you assuming it won't be The Rock winning the Royal Rumble?
Why not?
Yeah, it might be. Although I'll be surprised if he does more than one match.
They need to. If Rock is not winning the Rumble, they need to split up the titles somehow before then.
Sooner than later.
Like I
it's
said,
simple though.
my idea is do a WrestleMania 2000 style triple threat, like they did with Angle and Benoit and Jericho, where each fall is for a specific title.
Yeah.
Have Rock cost Roman the titles or something like that. Like, no, you're not the head of the table, and I just proved it. Now we go at WrestleMania, right? So then Rock doesn't have to win the Rumble. The titles are off Roman. I mean, they have ways out of it.
We said this before. The titles don't need to be at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be for the titles.
No. But Rock could be number 30. He could be number 30, come out and throw everybody over, and it could happen in a minute. And that place is going to erupt because they know what it's going to lead to. That's easy for The Rock, where he probably wouldn't get hurt. I mean, they got possibilities.
And here's an idea. WrestleMania is 2 nights. What if They say that Rock faces Roman Reigns non-title match night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 1 is the WWE Unified Championship match where the
And
Royal
Roman's
Rumble winner
goes both nights. Oh, the first man to headline both nights of a WrestleMania, Roman Reigns.
You're
Brilliant,
just
Aaron.
making Virtue's
Call up
day.
Stanford right now. Text,
Yeah, but
tweet Triple H, whatever.
But if you do that to get the titles off him, do you believe he can beat The Rock?
No, he wins night 1 and retains the titles, and then night 2 with no titles on the line. And then he's standing with them both nights. Oh my goodness, do it. And then you can build him to lose him at SummerSlam to Cody or whoever you want to put over.
Yeah, I say do it, and like I said, have The Rock retire. Roman gets to claim I made you retire, and then Rock headlines the Hall of Fame 2023 or 2024, I guess. Yeah,
So there you have it.
Really?
That was a good super chat to end there. Aaron, anything
All
else
right.
to close up?
Well, this Tuesday night, myself and Jeff Meacham will be live 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It just might be the greatest wrestling Q&A ever. Make sure you guys tune in for that. It is going to be a fun night of wrestling discussion. We'll talk about anything. You guys can send in your questions, nodqmisc@gmail.com. We'll also answer any super chats that night. We'll talk about WWE, AEW, TNA, WCW, ECW, anything wrestling related. You send in the questions, we'll answer them to the best of our ability, and we'll go as long as we get questions. It's going to be a fun live stream Tuesday night to celebrate the 24th birthday of NoDQ.com and Jeff's 20-year anniversary since he started NoDQ Media. He was the guy that really got it off the ground. The first, I guess you could say, podcaster on NoDQ.com, the first real exclusive podcaster that we had. Now, the This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat, says, okay, this is a bit of a loaded question.
After dark, I figured.
It is after dark. Says, what is your perfect pay-per-view calendar? Now, I did tweet mine. I brought up bringing back Cyber Sunday. I brought the idea of bringing back King of the Ring with the winner facing the champion at SummerSlam. Maybe bringing back Evolution. I'd like to have King of the Ring as the pay-per-view where there's the one-night tournament, just like the old days. But to counter that, so the women have something, you bring back Evolution and, scrap Hell in a Cell, scrap Money in the Bank, move Money in the Bank back to WrestleMania. And, just do the 12 pay-per-views. You got the Saudi Arabia shows. There's no getting rid of that. And, I think just get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views, bring back a couple, and that would be mine. So, Big G,
I'm good.
What's your perfect calendar year for pay-per-views? What changes?
He wasn't ready to be asked that. He was ready to
whatever you said, I'll agree with you.
He's got to get back to his babysitting, guys. Walter, you have a lot to say.
No, I agree with you. Bring back King of the Ring. Although it's 2022, I feel like the moment you go King of the Ring, people will be like, well, what about women? What about,
That's
how
Evolution.
these marks in there? Yeah, but they're still going to be like, you got to change it to Person of the Ring or something stupid bull. That's why I think they don't bring it back as like they're trying to avoid some kind of public backlash. You had the Me Too and all this social media crap where everything's got to be inclusive. That's why the world we live in now. So you're going to get me on a hot take. The world we live in now, everybody's so sensitive and wanting to be included in everything that it's hard to do that. It's like you say King of the Ring, and then they're going to be like, well, what about us? It should be Person of the Year.
They did Queen of the Ring, so.
Yeah, but as separate things on SmackDown, and to have its own PLE, it's going to be there. But I wouldn't mind New Year's Revolution coming back, too. That was a good play. And that was the first Money in the Bank cash in. Like, there's a lot of memories with that. And the fact that they did it in Puerto Rico the first time, like, and they haven't been in Puerto Rico in a long time. I agree with you with Cyber Sunday. You get rid of Hell in a Cell. Anything where you get rid of those gimmick pay-per-views is the perfect year for me. Just get rid of that crap.
Cut it back
and Money
to
in the
6.
Bank back at WrestleMania.
Cut it back to 6 or like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and then throw another one in there. And then those other months in between, Saturday night's main event the right way, the traditional right way. And Peacock is an NBC entity. There you go. Make that feel like it used to back in the day. There you go.
Interesting idea. What do you think, Josh? Anything you would like to add to this?
So I would say keep it as one pay-per-view a month. I would say that way, except for, I would say January, add your New Year's Revolution at the beginning, then the Rumble. I would say do Mania at the end of March. That way you have a April pay-per-view and you're not rushing from Mania to another pay-per-view and just doing all these WrestleMania rematches. That's dumb. Of course, keep SummerSlam, keep Survivor Series as War Games now. Do King of the Ring, but have it be the yearly UK pay-per-view. And have it be King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. I'd say go for Evolution too. I would say at least make one pay-per-view a year, or PLE, whichever. A Canadian pay-per-view as well.
Canadian Stampede.
And that could be you could do that as the December pay-per-view, because there's currently no actual WWE one in December. But granted,
Starcade was my idea.
I was actually going to say, and y'all are going to hate me for this and grill me because I got grilled for this on Jeff's channel. I would say put December to Dismember in there.
Nah.
Except don't give it the extreme crap that was 2006. Just
that
and
name,
put that
in, and put that.
Hey, wait, and put that in Saudi Arabia.
I said
after dark.
Create a PLE's name where every year it's going to be in a different country. Like do something where you don't have to do UK every year, but do it like a world tour PLE, and that month, whatever month you pick, every year that PLE is going to be from a different country, and that'd be something different and unique.
Yeah.
Michael Wayne. I like Aaron's idea of Cyber Sunday. Put that back. Virtue's idea of Saturday night's main event. Since we're doing Saturday
red, white, and blue ropes, the old banners up in the thing, do the interviews where you can see the crowd like me and Gene used to do them.
Yeah. Get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views, so that way the matches again feel special again. Like Extreme Rules this year actually felt special because they actually did their job.
Oh, and cage matches on Saturday night's main event has to be in the blue or the black.
The blue cage.
Yes.
The blue cage. And stop putting the word WrestleMania in front of any PLE except WrestleMania.
Yes.
Okay, Aaron, another super chat came in, of course.
Yeah, and by the way, Bash at the Beach, I think they should bring back like the themed episodes of Raw just to change things up. Bash at the beach, maybe do one at the Mall of America.
Or the hog. What's the motorcycle one? Those are
well. The problem is those bike guys just don't care about wrestling, so they never made for good crowds. That was the only problem with that. But anyways, bring back some of those old shows where it was not in the traditional arena setting. Like I miss those types of shows.
Yep, I agree.
I know they're going to take a hit. They're going to take a hit on finances because they're not going to get that live gate. But so what? They can.
Even what's happening? Ballroom or something like that, like something.
They can't even bring. They won't even bring the fist back. So I don't know if they'll bring that back. Like they have to digitally do the fist for that.
How they do HD and stuff like that. I don't think they can do any of that with the fist anymore.
Yeah, but Big G's got to get back to his babysitting. So let's get to this last super chat from Billy L. He sent in $2. Said, and this will be a quick one for me at least. Should the championship scramble return? No.
Although Jericho won a title in one of those once, but yeah, no.
Oh, Big G's in trouble. All right, guys.
I did like when Brian Kendrick had the title for 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Okay. Yeah, NoDQ.com. Live coverage of Crown Jewel this Saturday afternoon. Make sure you guys tune in for that, and I'll be back with the live stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. We very much appreciate it.
Follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_virtue. Go to NoDQ.com/merch and get the apology shirt of me. That's it for the NoDQ panel on this week's review. This has been number 211. Hopefully we get some good topics coming out of Crown Jewel and next week, and maybe something good Tony Khan can do. Good night, everybody. We will see you next time.